Hey guys, more than likely if you clicked on this video, you're new to my channel, so if you like what I try to do on my channel, you might as well hit that subscribe button, as well as leave a like, comment on what you'd like to see me talk about in this grand world of video games we love together. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the video. So games have reached this point where developers can create these living, breathing, open world games that can really draw us in and have us experience the experience that they want to give us.
Okay there?
But they've also kind of hit this plateau where we're no longer seeing these giant leaps in graphics and quality that we did in the past. And while we're starting to see new and interesting explorations of characters and story and gameplay, graphics have always been this major selling point for both video games and consoles. And in all honesty, why wouldn't they be? Video games are a visual medium, and the first thing the player's gonna notice or interact with is the graphics. But somewhere, as the generations have progressed, graphics have become less of an achievement by the development team and more of an expectation by the players, which in turn has now pushed developers to focus more on character, story, and gameplay, and in my opinion has even made games better as a whole. But it's also raised a question in my mind of, do graphics really?
Hold up. Of course video game graphics are important. Why else would the developers spend so much time and money trying to make a game as visually stunning as possible if they weren't?
Well, you're not wrong, but you're not entirely right either. Let's start with a game that has probably the biggest impact within the last 2 generations at least. Now let me get this out of the way to begin with. I'm not saying that developers didn't care about character development, story, or gameplay beforehand. Heck, Final Fantasy VII changed how developers looked at RPG stories, breaking down the JRPG market as a whole in the West. Halo not only showed that yes, we can have an FPS on consoles, but they can also tell a great story along with it. But The Last of Us was the situation where all these elements of story and character and just gameplay all melded together almost seamlessly to create a whole package that has made a lasting impact on us all. Regardless of how you feel about it, you can honestly sit down and understand that this game is something different. 20 years from now, we're not going to be sitting around talking about how good it looked or the gameplay, but we're definitely going to sit down and talk about Joel and Ellie's story and how through character moments and those little gameplay interactions you had with Ellie throughout the game that made us not only feel and be able to watch this unbreakable bond form, but experience it ourselves. And it's because of this game that we've now gotten games that have been influenced by it, such as the biggest game of this year, probably God of War. God of War isn't just this natural progression to a subpar hack and slash platformer that has now spanned 3 different console generations. God of War tells a deeper story about loss and how the shared loss of a loved one can bring people closer together, in this case a father and son, while also posing questions like, can you really change and can you outrun your past? Which we all kind of know the answer to deep down, but we don't really want to admit it to ourselves. And this is where God of War is so good, because it doesn't pull its punches in those moments. It shows you this character, warts and all, that is flawed in many ways, but is seeking redemption in others.
I found some.
Get in the boat, boy.
But probably the best example I can use to drive my point home is the indie breakout Celeste. Sure, it's a solid yet difficult 2D platformer, but it also deals with themes of depression and anxiety, and how overcoming these forces in your daily life can feel like you're actually climbing a mountain. But when you reach that summit, when you feel that great weight lifted off of your shoulders as that sunlight hits your face, it's hard not to feel a bit stronger for it, and a bit more prepared for the battle the next day. But these are far from the only examples we can draw from. We can go to Detroit Become Human and how it deals with themes of humanity. We can go back to Halo and see how it's like adapting a biblical story in many ways. Or we can go on to like Fortnite and how it's not really much of a story-based game or character-based, but the gameplay loop is fun. Or Minecraft and how it's all about exploration and creating and just living in this world. So do graphics matter? Of course. But not as much as they used to. They used to be this major selling point. We all remember that Atari commercial. But now they're more of a tool that developers can use to just convey more emotion through their game, convey more storytelling, convey a better message. And in many ways it kind of mirrors movies. You know, when CGI was becoming popular in movies, a lot of people would just go to see a movie because look at that CGI. The same thing with games. But now it's more like we can do great things. We can tell better stories, better characters, more emotion. I didn't talk about this, but opening for Spider-Man PS4 is probably one of the best video game openings of all time. And it wouldn't be that way without the graphics. But it also wouldn't be that way without the character moments, like Peter not paying his bills or not washing his suit. Like many things in life, it's more of a balance. You no longer just focus on one element. You can focus on 2 or 3, and those are the games that are going to be remembered. The ones that balance it all properly, the ones that have good characters, have good graphics, and then have a great story behind it. Those are the games that we're going to remember, and those are the games that are going to influence us for years to come. But then again, this is all one guy's opinion, and I gave mine. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Write down in the comment box down below, what do you think? Are graphics as important as they used to be? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.
All units, level 4 mobilization. Location, Fisk Tower.
Fisk.
SWAT is 1084 at Fisk Tower. All units stand by. Warrant is en route.